Hello from Seattle, Washington area. My name is Sarah Stout and I'm a senior team leader with Usborne Books and More, and I'm so excited to share some of our new titles that just came out in the January 2015 catalog. So here are we just came out with a few more. We have many illustrated not only collections but unabridged books as well. But we just came out with Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales, which is really awesome. All of our combined collections have a table of contents in the beginning and then go throughout and have pictures. And as you can see, they're a little bit longer fairy tales, so for kids that are maybe a little bit older. Although I will say we've been reading this Illustrated Classics for Children, which has, as you can see, a table of contents in it. And my son, this Railway Children's Story, that's the first one, we just got this book a week ago, and we've probably read it at least 25, maybe even 30 times. We probably 3 times just yesterday alone. So these are really fun and engaging for children. You can see in this book specifically, the pictures are a little bit bigger than in the other book, but they're such engaging stories because they employ a higher vocabulary, but yet they still have visual. They're very visual and graphically oriented so that the kids can be able to be still very engaged in the story as well. We also came out with a few new novels. So this one is Choose Your Own Ever After, and this one specifically is called A Hot Cold Summer. There's another title in this series as well. And they're a Choose Your Own Adventure story. So basically, this one, Frankie, she gets a chance to go to London, or she gets to go to the beach with her dad, and you as the reader get to choose which adventure that she's going to go on. So these ones are so awesome. This one's called The Pony Crazed Princess, which if you know any girls that love princesses and ponies, I know that I do. These ones are so fun for little girls, and we just came out with 2 more in the series, and I believe there's 4, maybe 5 even more before these ones as well. And we came out with a new Billy B. Brown one as well. If you know about Billy B. Brown, those ones are really awesome too. We also came out with, at this catalog, some animal stories for bedtime and fairy tales for bedtime. As you can see, the binding is really, I mean, it's this cloth bound binding, and they have a bookmark with them, as do the illustrated tales as well. And these ones are so fun. I love this because they're just classic stories for children. So the Town Mouse and the Country Mouse. My son also loves these stories. So even though there are quite a few words per page, my son, who's only 2.5, he wants to read these books over and over again because the stories are just so interesting and engaging for children. We also came out with a few new storybooks. So this one's called Bears Don't Read, and George, that's why it says the book belongs to George. George is a bear who finds a book. Kind of feels like there's something more to life than what he already has been experiencing, and he finds a book and he decides he wants to learn how to read. His family kind of thinks he's crazy, but he goes to the town to find somebody to help him learn how to read. And you can read the rest of the story from there, but it's a really endearing tale about this bear and this girl and the power of learning how to read, not only for intellectual reasons, but for social reasons as well, and the friends that you make along the way. Another book that just came out is called Jessica's Box. So Jessica moved to a new town, and she makes this decision that she's going to bring a box to school with something fun to share so that the kids want to be friends with her. And so she brings the box, and she keeps bringing different things each day, and she's kind of surprised at their reactions or lack thereof. And eventually she realizes that the most important thing she can bring is herself. So it's a really positive message, and especially great for kids who are moving, who recently moved, to have that confidence in themselves. Another book that just came out is called A Tale of Two Beasts. And I love this book because these are the two beasts. So it's all about perspective, and the story is initially told from this perspective of the little girl, but then later it's told from the perspective of the beast. And so it's really interesting to see his perspective versus her perspective, and to see how each perceived their interaction together. And I think it's a great way to chat about those things with children. Okay, I'm going to share several nonfiction with you. I am so excited about this. I begged the CEO of Usborne to come out with First 1,000 Words in German, and he did it. I'm so excited. I was so excited to see it in the catalog. And these books are so neat because not only do they have the each word, but they also have, so they talk about how they tell about the book in the beginning, but they also have a way that you can look at it online. So there's a quick link that you can be able to look at it and be able to listen to a native speaker hear or speak these words. So it's not, they don't just have German, they have Hebrew, they have Spanish, Latin, French, they have tons of different ones, Chinese, but as you can see, they're really fun. But there's also a duck, a little yellow duck hidden on each page, as is illustrated. All the books that are illustrated by Stephen Cartwright, almost all of them have a duck hidden on the page. So those are really fun for children. We also have many amazing and engaging See Inside books. This one just came out. It's called See Inside Weather and Climate. And as you can see, it talks about, it talks all about weather and climate, and there's several different flaps to lift to be able to show kids about wind speed, about the stormy, what it means. So how you can tell weather, what signs you can look for to be able to tell weather. So if is there a ring around the moon, it may mean rain or snow soon. The higher the cloud, the finer the weather. So it goes through, talks about where weather comes from, the world climates, and there's even flaps to lift over here in the key that tell you about the different weather and climates, as well as flaps to lift for each of the different countries that tell you about the weather and climates as well. So water and clouds, so it tells you about the water cycle. It tells you about the sun and the air, wild winds, etc. So this book, wonderful, wonderful new title I'm really excited about. Another one that just came out is called Lift the Flap General Knowledge. And as you can see, just the table of contents alone is so visually stimulating for children. It even has flaps on the table of contents to be able to tell information, to give information to children. So there's information about the world. There's information about living things. There's information about science, about entertainment, and I love that it's on a chessboard. Treasure trove. This is my favorite page because there's a timeline of the world, and then there's flaps throughout. This is my favorite flap on this page, though, because it shows the solar system, and I just love how this flap folds up like that. But true and false. There's a can you match, and it has the answers down below. So these are such fun information, ways to disseminate information to children to keep it fun and interesting and engaging for them to gain knowledge. New to this catalog as well, we already had 50 science activities to make and do. This one and several other different types of science activity books, but this one's really great because this one's called 365 science activities, so an activity a day. And I love these books because they teach children how to complete a process. So even if a child could not read, they could be able to follow along with the pictures in the book, as an adult even explains to them how to do these different activities. So it has, as you can see, so many different activities, and has all of the process and explanation photos as well as what they should be seeing and what they're learning throughout as they complete these different activities. So this one's called 365 Science Activities. We just came out with a few different spot books. We already have tons of things to spot. So on the farm, 1,000 things to spot in fairyland, animals to spot, etc. But we came out with a few different new picture puzzle books. This one's called Very First Book of Things to Spot. And it's more for younger children. So for toddlers, I would say up to 3 or 4. But I think it's great because it has shapes and many different colors. There are prompts on each page for caregivers, but I found as we got this book, we just sat there reading it for probably the day we got it. We probably read it 45 minutes or an hour that day. And my son loves that there's little holes in there, by the way. But there's so many different things to spot for small children, and we just had so many different things to chat about. And I think it's so great for kids because they learn as they're looking and honing in on their skills of being observant, but they're also learning more about the world around them as well. So this is a really neat book. My son's 2.5, and he just ate this book up when we got this book. So that one's called The Very First Book of Things to Spot. We also came out with a picture puzzle book that's new to this catalog. And as you can see, there are some amazing illustrations in this book. And it's similar to the book before this, but I think this is really a step up from that book. But it's so awesome because it gives prompts, but it also, the kids can be able to look through and find things themselves. So it's an activity book without actually having to have a pen or stickers or anything like that. So it's a really fun and engaging activity book. So, and this one's I think this one's awesome because it's specific to animals. So another activity book that we just came out with, as you can see, we've been using it. We have several of these in our White Clean collection. So White Clean Farm Activities, which is so fun. It has puzzles, it practices numbers, it practices going shapes, it has dot to dot for counting. There's so many different fun, you can see we use that page really well. So there are just so many different fun activities in our White Clean books in general, White Clean First Math, things like that, but this one's farm activities. We also came out with step-by-step drawing animals. We already had step-by-step drawing people and step-by-step drawing a basic one that even had buildings and things in it. But it's great because it takes them through all these basic shapes to be able to create something, to be able to draw the animals, and even has space for them to be able to do that as well. So it's a really great for somebody interested in drawing. Those are fun to be able to teach kids. We also came out with a ton of sticker books as well in this catalog. This is one of my favorite ones, the picture atlas, because not only does it have an atlas, but then it has the pictures so that kids can be able to really visually see where the buildings go or where the different things are throughout the world. So those ones are really fun. It has stickers in the middle to go, and the stickers are labeled saying that they should telling you which page that they need to be able to go on. So that's a really awesome, amazing sticker book that just came out. We have a few other really wonderful atlases as well. So we also came out with a sticker book ballet. I love this one because it has Cinderella and it has Nutcracker in it, and it just shows different ballet costumes. So that one's a really fun one as well. So last couple books to share, we just came out with this nonfiction title, Mammals, and a reptile one as well. And as you can see, they're wonderful pictures. They have little fact file. They have telling you their conservation status, so if it's an endangered species or not. And they're just really interesting and fun. And the price is right because they're only $4.99. So those ones are really awesome for children of all ages, I think. We also have several peek insides. This one just came out, Peek Inside Farm, and these are so fun to be able to peek inside and show young children a little bit more about the world around them. We already have Peek Inside Nighttime, Peek Inside the Zoo, Peek Inside Animal Home. So this is just to add to it, Peek Inside Farm. Last one, but certainly not least, I want to share with you is this one called Noisy Train. So this is also illustrated by Stephen Cartwright. It has a yellow duck hidden on each page. And this one is so fun because if you have any more of Stephen Cartwright's books, it shows you at the top, it has they're board book pages and has these really thick tabs at the top to show the kids which button to push when. And it has, like I said, the yellow duck on every page, but the kids are going to be familiar with Poppy and Sam on each page as well. So hope you enjoyed this peek into the new titles for January 2015, and we'll connect soon.